For Brice, with a team like this, a catcher who's missed a little bit of time with a hand injury is coming back now. Can you take advantage on the base pass a little bit? You going to test them, be aggressive early in the series, or just kind of be yourselves?
I think just being ourselves is a big factor of why we're here. And so, we'll talk about that in the meetings and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we're just going to play our game that we know how to play. And, yeah.
Go to the middle of the second row here.
I guess for any one of you guys, this series inevitably is going to be billed as David versus Goliath. Do you think it's fair to be, the best team in baseball and kind of still be considered the underdog, or how do you view yourselves in the scope of this series?
Yeah, I think that's kind of been the narrative all year long. So it's not really anything new. Since opening day, that's kind of been the idea. But I think we really just worry about ourselves, and that's why we've kind of been able to click throughout the entire year. Is just it's not really about who's on the other side; it's about us. Obviously, the Dodgers have a really good team over there, but it's no different this series.
Go to Adam in the second row.
Chad, how has your outlook on your role on this team changed in the last 24 hours? And who did you hear from after your performance last night?
I just think it's more of just a bulldog mentality. Just going out there, being able to execute pitches and get outs and get back in the dugout. But, I've heard from a lot of people I still haven't even got back to. But, yeah, just bulldog mentality for sure.
Go to Bob in the front row on the right.
Even though, a different round, more expectations, but in a way, can you play more free because there was so much pressure last round to finally end that playoff drought?
I think at the end of the day, you just got to it's like wins and losses all throughout the season. We'd all say, you just move on and you got to worry about winning tonight. I think that kind of goes into this series is you forget about what happened yesterday and you go on and try to win tonight, try to win every pitch. We got a good locker room who believes in themselves, and that's the most important thing. And so going into tomorrow's game, just worried about tomorrow's game and not thinking about yesterday or the next day, just thinking about playing the game and winning every pitch.
Stay in the front row, Jesse.
Chad, it used to be hitting 97 or 98 on the radar gun was noteworthy. Now it's like you look around your bullpen, it's triple digits everywhere. What's that like to see, whether it be Jacob or Trevor, just it's 100 from all these guys, Ashby as well?
Yeah, honestly, it caught me off guard the first time I saw it. But I just think it just goes with just, putting the work in the weight room, just doing what everyone's asked of and myself. But yeah, the average fastball is 96 now. So I think the whole year I was probably 3 to 4, and then kind of just made a transition to, just letting it eat, for 3, 4, 5 outs.
Come over to the left side, Kurt.
For Chad, when some guys go to the bullpen, we see them kind of simplify the mix, 1-2 pitches. You've been able to keep working everything in, four seam, cutter, sinker, slider, all that stuff. Is kind of just take me through the thought process on wanting to keep the mix diverse instead of just going like cutter, cutter, cutter.
I think it's just more of, you don't want to just feed fastballs. So I've been able to add the curveball or slurve or whatever it's called, just to keep them off of the heaters. So yeah, going it, we get our little note card and just attack where the weaknesses are.
Go to Todd and then Jack, both in the third row on the right.
Chad, we talked about it a little last night after the game, but what do you think you learned about yourself this year with the up and down and kind of the struggles you went through and then getting back and getting a role on this team and pitching as well as you have been?
I think it's just more of just not riding a roller coaster and staying even keel, and whatever happens that day happens. At the end of the day, you're trying to be the best version of yourself, and that's what I'm able to do every day.
Chad, after pitching as a starter for most of the year, you pitched 4 times in one series here out of the bullpen. What's the adjustment been like for you physically, just the increased frequency of the outings here lately?
I think it's just understanding that it's all hands on deck, and just being able to be ready, taking care of the body, making sure that, we're eating the right things, we're seeing the training staff to be ready for these games. But I'm honestly ready for anything, because like yesterday, it was just win or go home. And then this series is going to be another version of that with, I think it's 2 off 3 in a row. So just being ready and, yeah.
Could stay in that third row on the end.
Caleb, how does the relationships you guys have in the clubhouse, the tight-knit, translate to what goes on the field?
I think it's huge. I think it's been a big separator for us. Obviously, I don't know what's going on in other clubhouses, but I think it's just that chemistry that you have in the clubhouse builds that trust on the field. There's something about, especially these playoff games, you just feel like the person at the plate's going to come through, and you feel like the dude on the mound is going to get the job done. And I think that stems from the chemistry we have, in the clubhouse. We're all really great friends. So it's funny because they talk about this power of friendship, but I think to a certain extent it's a real thing, because you definitely see it in the clubhouse. It just builds that trust on the field.
Go to the far right in the second row, John.
Caleb, your shirt says built for fall. Those of us who observe would say you're also built for the Brewers. Did you, just because you're, hustle, you do all the little things, did you sense that when you were traded over here that this was a really good spot for you to develop?
Yeah, right away I looked at, I knew they had a really good season the year before, and definitely did a little bit of studying on, who my teammates were going to be, and it did look like it was a lot of guys who had a similar skill set to what I brought to the table, which was really exciting for me, because I knew I was going to learn a ton from them, and it was going to help me grow my skill set even more, especially with this coaching staff really valuing what I kind of bring to the table has only helped me get better at the things I was already good at, I think.
Sophia, first row on the far right.
For Caleb and for Chad, just how do you guys process getting this opportunity as rookies, and just how, guys like Brice and the veteran guys can help you guys through this, and how they've picked you guys up at different times during the season?
Yeah, I think just seeing the way everyone still goes about, the day-to-day and the postseason really helps, because they're treating it the same as they did throughout the regular season. So that kind of helps you settle into the moment a little bit more. And I think when you put everything in perspective, it can get overwhelming, because it's a really cool experience that we get to have as rookies. So I think just staying in the moment, and, all the vets, tell you it's the same game. I think that kind of helps you just stay in the moment. And again, it's pitch to pitch every time we're on the field. So I think that definitely helps with that.
Yeah, I went up to Miz, and before game 2, kind of knew that we both were going to get in the game, and just said, hey, not a lot of guys like us get this opportunity our first year in the big leagues. So just, go out there with everything you have and just attack the zone. I think just having a lot of veteran leadership on the pitching side, anyways, has been really helpful with Woodruff, Peralta, and Quintana. So I think that goes a long way throughout the whole season, and I've gotten really close with those guys too. So I try to get close with hitters. It kind of segregates, I feel like, but because you got the pitchers on the one side, you got the hitters on the other side. But yeah, I mean, this team's built for success. So
Come back to the left side, Kurt.
For Caleb, a whole group of the country of baseball fans, and actually probably the whole world, is going to get exposed to more of Murph in this series. If you could, to the best of your ability, describe what it's like to play for the person that Murph is and the character he is.
Yeah, I think that, the word that comes to my mind is just free. Like, playing for Murph allows you to be free because he wants you to be who you are. And there's a really good combination of he's holding you to a certain standard, that he's going to make you play a certain style of baseball that he thinks is the right way, but he also wants you to be yourself and play your game. And he believes in every single person individually and believes in us as a team. And I think we definitely feel that in the clubhouse when, your leader, the guy that's, at the head of the table, is the right person and believes in all of us. It takes a lot of pressure off of us, I think.
Come back to Jesse in the front.
Brice, a lot's going to be made externally of low payroll versus high payroll, average Joes versus Hollywood and all that. Do you enjoy that? Do you enjoy that kind of narrative, especially being, the lower payroll team and everything?
I don't know if I could say I enjoy it. We have a good team. It doesn't necessarily always matter. At some point, maybe, but it's the belief in each other, the belief in yourselves that is what gotten us here. It's not us looking at the payroll or making excuses for it. Like, this is what we got. This is who we are. So, I don't know. I don't look too much into it because I believe and trust in every guy in the locker room, no matter how much money they're making. And that's why we're here. We got a good group of guys, the power of friendship, as people say, and that's, like he said, it's a real thing. We got a good group of guys who believe in themselves and they go out there and do what they do best, and that's kind of all you can really ask for them. And yeah, it's been a great time. It's been really fun.
I will take two more back up in the third row, Todd and then Jack.
Brice, I was wondering, as a really good defender like you are, you could speak to the progress that Caleb has made at third base this year.
Yeah. It's the work. Every day he's out there taking extra ground balls during batting practice. That kind of speaks for the type of player he is. He's putting the work in, and doing stuff like that helps you defensively. It's made him a better defender, and helps you maybe read the right hops or stuff like that. And so it's all the work you put in is what you get out of it. And he's done a phenomenal job. And yeah, it's fun to watch. It's fun to play with him.
Jack.
Brice, the results hadn't necessarily been there for you early last series until that home run you hit last night. An at-bat like that, to get a breaking ball away and stay on it and go 400 plus feet to center, is that the kind of at-bat that you walk away from thinking that things feel like they're clicking again and you're in a good spot?
Yeah, I felt good. I felt good the whole series. It's just hitting a little underneath the ball. But again, it's like you just got to move on. You can't dwell on it. You got to go next at bat. It's you try to do that all season, but especially in the postseason. You got to play all the outs. You got to go back out on defense and play all the outs. So I knew I was on it, just hitting a little bit, and I wanted to be aggressive that at bat, and I got the pitch to do it on. And yeah, but I didn't feel like, it wasn't like I was like, oh man, I don't feel right. Like, no, I felt fine. I felt good. Just to click off, and then, yeah.
Murph, why do you do this?
It makes the room happy. You know what I mean? It's a happy room, except for Mike. Is Mike even here anymore? Mike's up there, he gets pissed, and I kind of like that part too. We don't have a real question? Heyman's got juice. The guy's got juice. Give him.
I got a question. Your team handled the Dodgers 6 games to nothing in the regular season. I don't suppose your team is the type to get overconfident, though, but I'll ask you.
Yeah, I mean, we're not overconfident, that's for sure. Dodgers are a powerhouse. What can you say? You know, you don't see many commercials in the United States, Canada, Japan, anywhere across the world, and you don't have Dodgers in it because they have the star power, and they're great players. I happen to think that Mookie Betts is one of the most underrated stars. I say underrated, that's kind of crazy, right? But I don't think Mookie Betts gets the credit. Freddie Freeman's like my favorite player in the game. He's ruined Brewers history many times, but I still love him. I think he's a terrific player and even more terrific person. Ohtani, you know, one of the all-time greats in only, I don't know how many years he's played, but he's one of the all-time greats. But I think Mookie Betts is, what he's doing, transitioning back to the infield and playing shortstop on, you know, America's team. Like, are you kidding me? And doing it so well. I mean, his performance this year is far the most underrated. If you're watching baseball and value to a team, that dude is some kind of special. He's like, it would be like Steph Curry, like playing forward. You know what I mean? Like, he could do it because those superstars can do that. Mookie is doing something in our game that's unprecedented. I love it. Yeah, I respect the whole team. Teoscar, one of the great dudes of the game, and he's just performing in the clutch. I mean, they got great ones. The Rojas kid has killed us. If he hits against us, he gets a hit. And he's been unbelievable. So I respect the heck out of him. I really do.
Come over to Russell, second row on the left.
What's up, Murph?
Hey.
You're a be where your feet are kind of guy. I know you always say you can't coast uphill. With that type of philosophy about baseball and life, how do you appreciate what you guys were able to accomplish last night while also, you know, understanding what lies ahead?
Yeah, I admire this team. You know, I admire the guys in the clubhouse, what they've overcome, what they're about, the who. You know, I say that a lot. I hope I'm understood, but I understand myself, but I'm not sure anybody else does. But the who that they are impresses the hell out of me. Just like how they go about their business, how they show up to perform every day, what they talk about, how they care about each other. You know, they're not baseball players that are comfortable. They're still hungry. And hungry players, they make the manager look good, that's for sure. And, you know, it's like, I'm just proud as hell of those guys. And I don't underestimate them. You can't look on paper and say how many of our position players would be on the Dodgers team. You can't really project that many of them would. But somehow they find a way. And that's why I really admire our team.
Todd?
Murph, you just came out of the meeting. Is there anything you can share as far as,
Sure.
you know, roster breakdown, anything like that?
Yeah, I'll just reveal it all just before we even have to give it to the Dodgers. I'll just send it to you.
As far as numbers goes, anything like that, 12 and 14 last night?
Why would I reveal that right now, Todd?
You revealed it first
I did? Huh. Oh, that was stupid on my part. I'm going to be more strategic.
Okay.
Adam, second row on the right.
Good. I got you warmed up. Murph, how about your starting pitching plans for 1 and 2, and more generally, the challenge of navigating a 7-game series with 2 off days versus a 5-game series with
3 off days.
3.
Yeah, it's a huge challenge on the pitching front, and so it makes you a little more mindful of length, guys that can give you length, but of the guys that we're going to keep, most likely, we haven't decided, to be honest with you, Todd. We don't feel like we can make a final decision, and we can't shed a position player right now, because the way our options and what they are, we don't feel like we can probably shed one. So if we're going to only keep 12 pitchers, then we got to have a bunch of guys with length. So that opens the door for some other people that might not have been on the roster the first week. So we got to look at that. That was part of your question. What was the other part?
You need a starter for 1 or 2?
Well, I think that our success using an opener is, Freddie's going to pitch game 2. It's probably pretty obvious, right? It's his rest. It's where you can do. It can bring him back then at the end if we need him. So I think you can look at that as a probable. Game 1 looks at, okay, who is on our team that can give us length? Quintana, Priester, something like that, right? Give us a bulk. And we may use an opener there in game 1. And then we'll look at game 3 when we get to it. Okay.
Go to Jared in the third row.
Hi, Jared.
Hi, sorry I missed introductions. I'm Jared with the Wall Street Journal. Hi.
God, that's awesome, Jared. Thank you.
You guys.
So you know who you're sitting next to, don't you?
On which side?
I just said, you know who you're sitting next to.
Actually, no, I don't.
You should
I'll introduce
learn,
myself
'cause
after
you're in
this
you're in a pretty strategic spot there to gain some knowledge.
Nobody else wanted to sit here, apparently, because I was the only open seat. You guys had more, opposing defenses committed more errors against your team than any team in baseball. You scored more unearned runs than any team in baseball. To what extent do you believe that's good fortune? And to what extent is that a result of something you are doing that sort of causes other teams to make mistakes against you?
I think there's the threat of the bunt, the threat of the steal, the positioning thing, because we do so much of that stuff. I think that probably creates people being a little uncomfortable, a little more out of position. I don't know. I think a lot of it's good fortune. I think a lot of it is guys that are like really short on our offensive team that kind of mishit the ball a lot, and it kind of puts everybody by surprise. The outfielders don't know where to play. They're like, this kid's 5'4". Where should I play him? So I think there's a little bit of everything in there.
Go back to Kurt on the left.
More of a real question this time. The Dodgers have more righty starters than you saw in that last series, and guys that are going to go probably longer in the games. Does that make you consider more strongly doing a situation with Bowers and Vaughn in the lineup together, or is that just sacrificing too much defense in your mind?
Yep. No, that's the discussion. You could be in our discussions if you'd like to join us. Yeah, those are the things that I'm contemplating. Like, do you put Bowers in the outfield? Who do you sacrifice? And what does that do to the rest of your outfield defense? And that type of stuff. So some version of that, Collins, he's been a huge part of our team. Like, so some version of that is there.
Let's go to Anthony.
You just gave me an idea there. No, I got to tell somebody something, and you saying that reminded me, because I'm a little bit overwhelmed with all the. What do we got? Who's next?
Anthony, second row on the right.
Anthony, helping out Adam.
Helping out Adam. What Misiorowski did for you guys in the DS, how does that, especially coming off his end to the season, how does that color or change your perception of what you could be, or how you could use him going forward here?
No question. That's a great question. And you're sitting next to Adam, and you made the great question. That's unusual. It's truly Miz stepping up the way he has just, we have more and more confidence in him, and he's back in a groove a little bit. And I think that helps our team. We're gonna have to piece it together. That's how we do it. It's patchwork, and it's proven to be pretty good. Yelly calls it the collection of misfit toys. Everybody's been DFA'd or moved around or been through really tough stretches, whatever, and it's kind of all hands on deck, and they're ready to do whatever. It's kind of cool.
Stay in that
Fun
row.
to be around.
Murph, going back to 2015 with the Padres, obviously you and Doc were on that coaching staff. Kotze became a manager. Will Venables a manager. What do you remember just about the baseball acumen on that team, and then what have you learned in the 10 seasons
God.
since?
Hey, I mean, my baseball experience in the big leagues in 10 years, I've been around I was around Buddy Black. He's unbelievable. I was around Brad Ausmus, Trevor Hoffman, Mark Loretta, Dave Roberts, Hoffy's brother. I knew that. Glenn. I mean, around so many good baseball people, you know what I mean? That whole Padre experience helped me grow immensely. And, you know, I'm a guy, I had done the minor leagues for 3, 4, 5 years there, and that helped me. But then the first time in the big leagues, all those guys around, and some of those guys were just getting started coaching. You know, Doc was just getting started coaching. Some other guy, I was around Darren Balsley, the pitching coach there. Just some really just great baseball people. And I'm just really thankful because they all, you know, had plenty of laughs on me, and yeah, we had a great time, and I learned a ton. I learned a ton.
I will try to do 3 more. Adam, Jesse, Jack.
Murph, back to Mizorowski for a second. Will he start in this series, do you think, or do you like middle of the game?
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. That hasn't been concrete yet, but there's a possibility he'd start.
And can I ask one more? Is Logan Henderson has been in Arizona, we understand. Do you
He's
expect-
actually here.
He is. That was going to be
And
my-
you knew that. I think you knew that.
Thank you. Do you expect him to be part of this?
Could be. Could be. It's tough. Tough. That guy hasn't thrown a pitch in a game since against real game in a while, so it'd be tough to put him on, but I think he's here. It's a rumor. He's here. Now, before we close this up, and I don't want to take up any of the Dodgers' precious time. I mean, they're on a shoestring budget. They can't go anything extra. How about any of the Japanese reporters? Ask me a question. It'd be a thrill for me. No, we got a couple. Ladies first. Sorry.
Hi. Your team is really young. What's the key to navigate the young player in the biggest moment like this?
Yeah. I think each other. I think the fact that they have each other, you know, and they rely and they feel responsible for each other. And I don't want to let him down, my teammate. I want to do the job for him instead of, it's all about me. I got to do the job. I got to look good. No, I got to be responsible to him. So I think it's a teammate thing when you got young players.
One more question. You may possibly face the Shohei as a pitcher. What's the impression, like what's the idea about him as a pitcher?
Yeah. My impression as a pitcher is that he's unbelievable. You know, the game I saw him pitch the other day was like, the split finger from the top of the zone all the way to the bottom. Like, amazing. The guy's amazing. What can you say? The guy is amazing. I've never seen a baseball player with that much ability. So, yeah, we'll have our work cut out for us. That other kid's pretty good, the lefty. He's pretty good. What's his name? Snell? He's pretty good. I'm joking, of course. I've been very disappointed when he's pitched and I'm in the same stadium. Yeah, he's really good. And Glasnow is really good. And Yamamoto is really good. And the guy at the end, who's the guy at the end throwing 100 with a split? Yeah, that shouldn't be fair. We're gonna try to petition the league and see if we can get him suspended for something. Isn't there something we can get him on to get him out?